Welcome to, this is my new show. It's called How to Grow. With this show, I will be taking through personal experiences in my life, and I will be showing you ways that I have gotten through them personally. And I just want to say I hope you guys enjoy. And with that, let's get into it. The first episode, the first thing I'm going to talk about, which is a very big thing to me, and I think I did a special on here last year, or not last year, the year before last, about it, but I'm not sure. But if I didn't, the first thing I'm going to talk about is depression, and I'm going to make this a 3 or 2 part. If I could fit it all into the next part, which that will not air tonight, that will not be on tonight. That'll probably be on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Not sure. But with this show, tonight I'm just gonna talk about my experience and what depression feels like to me. And then the next night I will talk about how I got through it, and also ways that you guys can go through it, and helpful ways to help you guys out. Because not everyone can get through the same thing that the way I did. But maybe this would help you guys out. And with that, let's get into this. Depression for me, it's like a monster. Or like another person living inside your skin. And it's something that you can't control. But all you know, it's there, and it's haunting you constantly, and you don't know what to do, and you want to be happy, you want to feel happy. Please believe, it's not like someone purposely wants to run around all day long feeling sad and blue. But a lot of times, people don't know how to get rid of it. For years, I didn't know how to get rid of it. And technically, you can never get rid of depression. You can learn how to either A, live with it, B, beat it to ass every chance you can, or C, unfortunately, let it consume you and take over you. And it's not good to let it consume you. Hold on. And trying to figure out how to keep going with this. Depression is I guess I can start what normally leads my depression. One of the biggest things that starts my depression up and leads my depression is loss or stress or anxiety. Sometimes I can deal with my stress just fine, but other times I can't. And I honestly need someone to talk to some days. But at other times you feel like, who can you trust? Forgive the other sounds you're hearing around me, but I'm recording outside. So until I can actually get a studio space and stuff like that, where you won't hear all this crap and you'll just hear me, you get to hear the other stuff too. But I think one of my most saddest times that I was really depressed and down in the dumps was after my grandmother passed. And I haven't talked about this with too many people, actually, because a lot of people judge me or look at me differently because of it. And that's the last thing that I want. And trying to figure out how to keep going with this, because this is really a hard subject for me. Growing up, my grandmother took care of me until she couldn't take care of me anymore because of the fact that she got sick. She had glaucoma, and then she got diabetes when I was young. And then once I got old enough, I took care of her. And the year before she passed, like, you could feel, in a sense, when someone's gonna go. And it might sound crazy. It might sound crazy, me saying that. But it's very true. You can feel when someone's about to go. And I moved out because I stayed with my family. I was 22, 23 at the time. And I still came over. I still visit. I still took care of her. I still did everything. It's just I didn't have the heart to be there while she was 24/7, while she was really going through it. And she also didn't want me there like that either. She didn't want me to see her like that. But when she passed, I was there. And I remember it because it was the week after Mother's Day. And it broke my heart because I loved my grandmother with my all. And she meant the world to me. And losing her felt like I lost my heart, my soul, everything. And for a few months after we buried her, I couldn't sleep. So I'd stay up in my room all night at the time. I was staying with roommates. And I would stay in my room. I would watch TV for those first 3 to 4 months. I would just be watching comedy special after comedy special, or anime after anime, or something, anything, just not, because every time I closed my eyes, I just saw her dead. I didn't remember any of the good memories or anything. By the 4th month, at the time I had a car and stuff like that, I started driving around at night. I waited till my roommates fell asleep so they didn't know I was driving around at night, and I just drove around. I would go to Walmart at night, or CVS, whatever was open 24 hours at first. But then, unfortunately, a lot of places, they look at you funny if you're walking around in the store at night. And then, since I'm not the right skin tone sometimes to some people, I really get looked at funny, and then they want to automatically accuse me of stealing. So I stopped doing that. And what I start doing is I start going to adult stores at night. And I don't know where you guys live at, but where I live at, there's a lot of adult stores that are 24 hours. Or there's some that are open until 2. But the ones that are 24 hours, they have other things in them, like theaters. And the one I mainly go to, they had a pool table. And I play pool. I'm not that great at it, but I know how to hit the balls into the hole. So I started just going there at night and playing pool. And I felt, as odd as it sounds, I felt very not like, I didn't feel like people thought I was stealing or something like that. They didn't look at me that way. And so that's why I kept going there. I think I went there for a good 2 to 3 years after my grandmother passed. She's been gone now for this year. I'll make it, because she died in 2011. So about 7-8 years. But and oops, sorry. I don't know if that got really loud or not. I leaned into the microphone a little too much. And immense me going through that and doing that, I stopped eating. I didn't really eat that much, and most people know me. I'm a big girl and I love my food. And I stopped eating. I didn't really want to be around people. I really kept to myself. I didn't talk to my roommates, except for about rent. I honestly was about to sign my name off the lease and leave, because I actually had an ideal at one moment to take my daughter, quit my job, get all the extra money I had from saved up for my job and stuff like that, sign my name off the lease, and just leave. I was going to go to Vegas and be a showgirl, because I thought showgirls were happy, until I realized most of them probably running from a problem too. Excuse me. I have Gatorade next to me, because talking and stuff like that is going to get me super dehydrated. So I don't want to sound all by the end of this. And hopefully the people with headphones, I'm sorry. My bad. But and then I stopped eating for a few months, and then, or I'd eat like shit towards food. And then I started drinking. First, it was just one bottle or two here. Then it became a habit. And when I say it became a habit, is that when I was budgeting, because I get paid every 2 weeks, and when I got to the point where I was budgeting my alcohol into paying all my bills, like my cell phone, my car note, my insurance, rent, and shit, and I'm actually budgeting alcohol. Oh, I could spend $200 on alcohol this week. Alright, cool. That's when it became a problem to me. Because that would be the only way I can go to sleep. Because at the time, that's when my roommates found out that I was actually leaving at night. And they weren't so thrilled about it, because gas was coming low in my vehicle. And that's another story, another thing we can work on for another day for how to grow. And at the time, I started letting people around me who, they didn't have good intentions for me at all. And I see it now. I should have saw it back then, but I really see it now, because my mind isn't so foggy. And to a point, depression does that to you. It leaves you in a fog, in a haze. You're not sure on what is going on, really. You just know that you're sad. And you want to feel something other than sadness constantly. You want to feel anything other than sadness constantly. And I'm going to take a brief break. Give me one moment. Okay, and I am back, and I just had to take a brief moment, but yes, with depression, it eats you alive. And I mean, literally, I was at the moment where I didn't want to be around my family. I didn't want to be around anything that reminded me of my grandmother. And it was sad because I couldn't even be around my daughter, because she looked so much like her that it broke my heart to even be around her. But also, I didn't want her to see me as this mess of a mom. I don't know. I feel like kids should never see their parents in fucked up predicaments. And I got to the point some years down the road that I was pretty much doing things that I shouldn't be doing, constantly drinking, I was popping pills. I didn't really want to deal with life sober. And a lot of my I had maybe 2-3 boyfriends around about that time period that I was really into that. And they wouldn't even know the difference. And I don't think I honestly ever really loved any of those that I was dealing with during that time period while I'm meant to be growing and stuff like that. I would say I love them, but I didn't mean it. I didn't feel it. And that's the other thing. You don't feel when you say certain things to people. And I hated that because, sorry, it's kind of chilly out here tonight. But I hated that fact because I miss telling people I loved them and meant it. It got to a point where I didn't even mean it anymore. I just said it just because that's what you're supposed to say if someone says it to you. And it actually took me realizing that I didn't want to deal with that anymore. That's not how I want my life to be. And with that, I think I'm going to actually, I don't want to have this too long of a show tonight because I think the next one's going to be a lot longer. And then we're going to start going into how I got myself out of it and stuff like that, and what I did to get myself out of it. So I don't want to start going into it tonight. So with that, I will say good night, and I hope the beginnings of this will help you. And I will tell you from personal experience, if you are depressed, I know it's the hardest thing to do right now is to actually talk to someone. So if you want to talk to somebody and you don't think your friends or family are going to listen or understand, I think I have my Twitter handle in the description for the show. So you could tweet me, DM me. I'm going to probably put my email in there too for that. So you guys can email me if there's anything on your mind, your heart, anything at all. Because I want to be there for you guys. And this is why I do these shows. So you guys can learn how to grow from your experiences. And the first step of that is learning how to, you have to admit it. You have to admit that you're depressed or you're sad or something's wrong. You have to admit it. That was the biggest step. And with that, good night.